but I guess you just do it that way. I mean, there's a lot of technology. We're figuring it out. And without further ado, here's my brother James Hicks. Hey James, how you doing, my friend?
What is good, man? What is good? That long pause that you had was you had me nervous for a second, but
So I
I
see you
love it. I
said
love
your
it.
YT is not streaming. I'm checking over here, and it says everything is on.
Who
The other thing
knows?
I
You know
forgot
what?
to check was if I am recording oh,
You
singular
forgot to
or
put that one. You forgot to push that one button, didn't you? There's
I
there's that
know,
one button.
I
You know.
know. Map input channels 1 and 2 to left and right stereo. Record isolated audio tracks. That's what I forgot, the isolated tracks. But it's fine. We have at least one track,
That's all
audio
right.
track. It's all right. It
I,
is.
I'm better in mono than stereo anyway. It's okay, brother. You don't worry about it. It's all good. Yeah, it doesn't look like my YouTube is going, but that's
Yeah, I
we
don't
can
know if it's
figure
mine
that out
is
as well. Trying to use
going.
restream pairs to figure this out. I've seen it work before, but
Yeah,
you know,
maybe it's how I set it up. Maybe I choose. Oh, maybe you need to choose a different stream key for streaming it through RTMP as opposed to choosing the one that's built into Restream.
hmm,
So maybe they have a different stream key for different events. So then it'll push out.
it is what it is, brother. You know
It's what it
what? It's
is.
it's blame it on the Halloween post Halloween
I know.
hangover. There you go.
The
Right.
post
That's what it
Halloween
is.
hangover, guys. We're coming live. I know it's weird to say. Like I've never done any of these interviews live. I've always done a Zoom recording, then I go to post production, and then I put it out there to the world. But James, on the podcast Hacks and Hobbies, I've had the opportunity, and you've heard it, you've seen me doing these podcasts, and it's just fun getting to know the fellow man on the other side, fellow man, fellow woman, and build that relationship, build that connectivity. So I'd like to, present some questions,
Okay.
and my good friend James, you are a technologist, and what's that by trade? I can't remember how you put it. Technologist by
By
education
education and
and
trade, I consider myself a
trade,
technologist. By education and trade, yeah,
right?
studied management, information systems, strategic management, but then moved into technology, everything from micro and mainframe. I'm dating myself when I mention those terms, right? But yeah, now really focused on from a professional side, enabling folks and organizations to utilize cloud technologies, enabling in terms of how to use large scale infrastructure pieces for
Mm.
data center storage, security, networking, data protection, and things like that. Yeah.
No, that's fantastic. So you love discovering and you focus on the service side of things. But
Yeah.
as an entrepreneur and content creator, you started building collaborative communities. I really love that aspect of it because as long as I can remember, I started playing with Commodore 64 and 486s
The
and
old VIC 22. And again, am I dating myself when I say VIC 20? But that was an older one. Oh my gosh.
right. I didn't get introduced to it a lot later in life, but as I came through life, I've been part of a ton of different communities,
Mm.
anywhere from server setup, gaming communities, cycling, football, soccer. All of these are different communities that help us
Hmm.
not only grow but also revel in the fascination we have around those things. And we got lucky enough to meet in awesome communities such as the Ecamm Live community,
Yep.
the Let's
Yep.
Get Live community, all because we had the passion for technology, putting it together, cameras and audio and video, and doing these live streams. So we got to meet through those communities. So it's
Right.
community is so powerful and so important.
especially an engaged community, right? So you can have as many members, subscribers, or whatever, but if folks aren't actually exchanging information and trying to help each other, then it's of no use. But you're right, the communities that we're a part of, especially online, allows us to bounce ideas back and forth. You think about it, just before we went live just now,
Yeah.
I was having issues with some audio things and trying to get that going. So just our abilities to engage, interact, troubleshoot, fire up Zoom or something and figure out, what in the world is going on with my roadcaster. We still haven't figured it out, but
Yeah.
I'll tear this whole thing apart. But that's where the value is, right? Begin not holding that information and that knowledge to oneself, but being willing to share that with others, because that's how the community grows, and that's really the value of the worth. I think the value of the worth is being able to share all that information. So
No, you're absolutely right, because without sharing what we know, without sharing the value, without sharing what we've learned,
mhm.
we're just not being true to ourselves. Because
Yeah,
when I learn about any little technology that's blowing my mind, I'm gonna reach out to five other people. Dude,
yeah,
did you see this yet? Because you need to. And the way we are, right, with technologists, we learn about something new and like, dude, you need to get on this because this is badass. I mean, that's how we got to the technology and adding to our gear, because we've been in these communities and they're like, oh my god, those nano leaf LED
you
lights,
see
they're
him. Oh,
badass. I
you
see
see
him.
my. I think was it you that actually. You let me tell you something. Let's go ahead and get focused. You've
All right.
caused me, sir, to spend a lot of money, and I'm going to need to send you some type of I-9 or some type of tax form, because Amazon has been here many a day because of Junaid. But that's fine, all right, because you vet it, right? You use it and vet out the product, the hardware, the
Yeah.
software,
Yeah.
the service, or whatever the case may be. And you're someone that I trust, right? In terms of knowing those types of things, lighting, camera, audio, whatever the case may be. So if you say that you use it and you agree with it and it works in your environment, then I'm gonna take that scenario. I'm gonna take that opinion and that recommendation and say, will it work in my environment as well? So,
Right.
but I do need to stop watching and listening to some of your Amazon streams,
See,
because
that's
you're
that's
you're,
the
you're
problem.
very you're very costly.
I
Yeah,
think that's
yeah.
why I haven't seen you around.
Because I'm broke. Yeah,
Because you're
that's why, right? Because I have no more
broke.
money. No, no. But Matt, I did just recently pick up again, this is a Junaid purchase. That's what I'm calling it, a slider. So I've got
Nice.
my new camera, my ZVE10, on a slider here. I haven't read the instructions like I probably should, so it's just there, and it looks good. But I will fire that thing up hopefully next week. But looking to add kind of that cinematic feel and effect, and don't do it, and don't make me look bad by turning yours on right now. Please don't do that.
No, so
Um,
I've got a problem with my slider in the back.
yeah,
I need to my the dummy battery is not working for the
okay,
camera anymore. So then I have to put actual batteries, and then so I can't leave it on because the batteries are gonna die.
right,
So I have to be intentional. Okay, what am I gonna do this video for? Okay, I'm gonna record a video for this course. I record a video for this product I'm shooting for. Then I'll go and turn it on. Otherwise, it stays off now. I
yeah.
do have the side angle, so I can just look at you
See, look
directly.
at it. Look at him, ladies and gentlemen. He's just doing what he does. It's amazing. I love it.
And the reason here's a reason why I actually did it this way.
Yeah.
I was recording shows and recording videos for a friend of mine, and anytime I wanted to edit the audio for him or edit the video, there's jump cuts, and jump cuts are now, they're everybody's used to jump cuts. Everybody's
Right.
like, oh, jump cuts are cool, but I was trying to avoid jump cuts, right?
I know. I hear you, man. Yeah.
So I'm
Talk about
like
that a little bit.
multiple
Yeah.
camera angles. So you switch from one camera angle, you can take out a whole bunch of audio out, a whole bunch, and then you just jump into the next sentence,
Hmm.
which then becomes the secondary camera. So if there's laughing going on, if there's anything going on in the middle, it's eliminated. So you're just delivering pure value to your
Yeah.
guest.
Right. And think about it. And reason that I kind of joked about that. Yeah. Everyone typically will use the same type of transition, same type of an overlay, same type of look and feel. Why? Because it has worked, right?
Yeah.
And there is value and there is truth in that. But you and I and a lot of other folks, I know I see some folks on here. What's going on, Jillian? I see it. I see you, Laura Williams. We're trying to be our own unique self, right? So not everyone wants to use a jump cut. Other folks want to use, again, different angles, want to use a slider, want to use different lighting, whatever the case may be. I recommend to folks, be your own self.
Yes.
Yeah, understand the framework, understand what works, what resonates with your community. But look, when you go live, when you press record, when you turn the lights on, don't try to be like the guy next to you. Try to be like the person who you are. And then I think that will show your originality. That will show more worth for your audience as well. So yeah, I agree, man. I'm always trying to do something different in this environment. I keep looking around. I'm looking at all these cameras that I got in here, and some of it's because of you. And I have to stop talking to you. I really do, because
Well, what's
I've
funny?
gotten in trouble for engaging with you on some things. And like I
Well,
said,
what's funny, James, is we haven't talked in a very long friggin' time. Okay,
that's
so
why. That's why. Yeah, you thought you were
but
getting ghosted. Yeah, you were, brother. No,
I
no,
know,
I'm
right?
sorry.
I guess I was like, damn,
No.
I feel like such a punk. But so, what's the podcast about? We've been talking about technology. We've been talking about live streaming and gear acquisition syndrome, the
Oh,
gas.
there that is
But
again, man. Yeah, there
but
that is.
but I wanted to highlight you, my friend. I wanted to bring in here and talk about a little about you. You know, what is it? Where'd you come from? Where did you go? GPIO.
Where's this guy from? Who is this
Right,
guy?
right. So tell us that we know that you're tech, you're in the tech space, but tell us a version of your journey that no one's heard of before.
Wow. Well, there may be a reason why folks haven't heard of it. I don't want to go to jail.
Guys, James doesn't want to go to jail, so
Yeah,
that's
man.
why we haven't heard of this
You
story.
recording
But
this? Huh? Oh my goodness. No,
maybe
look,
maybe
man.
there's a modified version that we can
Okay. Yeah,
share.
we'll make some micro content. We'll cut some things out. Look, I've been in technology for a long time. Way before some folks. It probably. I think I'm a little bit older than you two as well. Even though you got a lot of nice gray
Just
in
a
your
teeny
beard
bit.
there. Started in like I was saying, in the mainframe world, working in telephony, working for a company called GTE Data Systems. So
Hmm.
back after the Ma bells were broken up, so I was doing COBOL, I was doing MVS coding, I was doing things like that, running batch processes on old IBM DASD arrays. Went from that and really decided that programming and coding wasn't for me. It works and it resonates for some folks, but just my desire to be in front of folks and actually having engaging conversations was where I wanted to go, as opposed to being in a cold data center for 12 hours
Yeah.
a day, right? So left that and went and gave HP 20 years. So I hung out with them for a while on their enterprise side as well. Worked at HP in Palo Alto and up here in Northern California for a long time. After that, I went to Apple. So I spent 10 years at Apple, just like one of our good friends, Sean Doc Boyd, right? He actually worked at
Hmm.
Apple as well. So I was there, had a fun encounter and engagement with Mr. Steve Jobs himself. So that encounter will always make me a member of the cult of Mac. And look,
Yes.
I bleed Apple. I will talk the pros and the cons of it, right? I will
Hmm.
actually say when I think that they're not doing well, or they're not doing right, or they're not meeting customer need. But for the most part, they're hitting the nail right on the head. And
Yes, they
again,
are.
for the past couple of decades that I've been using the products, I completely resonate and completely agree with it. So I did that. Now on the day job, because a lot of us still have day jobs. The day job, I work at Dell, so I'm over at Dell Technologies, teaching, enabling, instructing value-added partners on the overall portfolio. Understanding what the servers, the storage, the networking, all of those components, and the cloud technologies, how to actually implement and utilize that.
Hmm.
When I take the Dell hat off and I put this one on, the Hicks New Media hat on, which is the majority of the day, I would rather keep this one on more and more. But like I say, my plan is to build engaged, active communities who are propelling each other to common goals. So,
Yes.
I'm utilizing content creation as one of the primary mechanisms of that, primarily video, because as you can see, I emote and I use what I call the jazz hands. So I like to show that emotion while talking, because that helps convey, for me, that helps convey the message. It
Yeah.
shows sincerity for me, and it shows real enthusiasm and things of that. So been doing a lot of content creation on the video side. Recently, within the last 8 months or so, really spun up the audio podcast. And to my surprise, it has done quite well. I'm not gonna lie. I was slightly hesitant because
Hmm.
podcasts have been around for so long, the traditional audio form. But when I spun it up and then got syndicated through Spotify and Apple and then Google, I said,
Yeah.
okay, that's cool. Those are the ones. But when I got into iHeartRadio, that was kind of the one, right? That was the one I was saying, well, okay, this might work. And when they
Yeah.
accepted me in the iHeartRadio, and then I got to see some of the metrics and see that kind of the story was resonating, I said, this is actually reaching more folks. And they're hearing the message, not just live and in video, but when they're at the gym or when they're driving or whatever the case may be. So really started making sure that the messages that I put out are tailored for both video and the audio
Yeah.
consumption.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm loving just the journey, continuing to evolve, continuing to learn. Always bringing in, as we've talked about, the gear just to make sure that uh, it just makes sense,
It
right?
does.
You got to continue to evolve, right? I can't keep using the same old equipment if I want to level up, if I want to get to another place, position, or threshold in my
Abs-
content delivery. So you got to do
Absolutely.
that. But yeah, I'm just having a ball, man. If there was any blessing of COVID, that 15 months of just being able to pause and stop and really focus on the what and the why of what I want to do, right, from a content creation perspective. And that really allowed me to do that. So that this past 15 months has kind of been kind of a hockey stick kind of growth for me, learning, sharing, evolving,
Hmm.
meeting new folks, networking, meeting people like you. So yeah, I'm loving it, man. Loving the journey.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
That's so awesome because and we've heard from a lot of people that have gone through similar journeys
Mm.
because they had a passion for something other than what they were doing on their day job. You got to
Yeah.
have that because that's what helps you cope with whatever it is that's going to derail your train or whatever it is, right? So
Yeah.
there's so many things, and you not only did you tell us a little bit about your origin story, but also your motivations for the things that you're doing. Because not only are you motivated centrally around why you're doing this, but also because the community that's around us raising us up, you know, all when what is it? A rising tide raises all the boats that are on there.
Look at you getting philosophical here. It's too early in the
It's
day
too
for
early
the
in the day.
philosophical
Well,
messages.
it's
But
already
go
four
ahead,
o'clock
brother.
here,
Go
my
ahead.
friend. So
I
I'm a little
love
in
it.
the future,
Again, I'm
you know.
still on the Halloween hangover right now, and you're okay. It's all right.
But it's so powerful because the story that we tell each other, the story that we tell ourselves,
Mm.
is what keeps us going, keeps us motivated, keeps us on the point. Hey, what do you want to be? Where do you want to go in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years? And if we just looked at your past and you worked at HP, Apple, now at Dell, I mean, I would have I had if I had known that Steve Jobs wasn't going to be around for so long, well, which is kind of dumb because who knows when's anybody going to leave.
Yeah.
That's one thing I totally missed out on because I really wanted to be an influence of this guy. I watched everything he did. I read everything he did. It's just so fascinating learning and getting to hear from folks that were around him. that
Yeah.
got to
Look, there's a
experience.
handful of what I call insane geniuses on this planet, and obviously Steve is one of them.
Yeah,
Richard Branson, Bezos,
yeah,
Elon. There are certain folks who are again those insane geniuses for whatever reason, and the world resonates with those folks
hmm
because they really are trying to put that dent in the universe, trying to do
yes,
something completely different than has been done before, and most of the time it's for common good.
yes.
So if you can align yourself with that, raise above the noise, I think it's a win-win for everyone. And
Amen.
speaking of folks that are here right now, so like an Elon Musk, right, trying to change the world to a fully sustainable electric focus off of coal, off of fossil fuels and things of that nature.
Right.
At the common goal for the company at the mission, that's what he's trying to do. He's not just
hmm
trying to sell cars, electric
No.
cars. He's not just trying to what is it, build flamethrowers that aren't flamethrowers.
hmm
He's not just trying to bore a hole underneath to alleviate traffic in Vegas. But if you kind of align yourself with a higher purpose and again stay out of the noise of the day, that's
Yes.
where you really find kind of what matters to you. So that's one thing that I still consciously have to focus on to not get caught in the minutia and the news cycle of what's going on throughout the day and throughout the week. But staying aware and staying cognizant of that.
Yeah.
But writing down those goals and acting on them, because if I don't write them down, it's just a plan,
It's
right?
true.
Yeah,
Well,
there's
if you
my
don't write
prolific thing right there, right? It's just a plan if you don't write it down. When you write it down, it
if
turns
you
into
don't
a
write
goal.
it down, it's just a dream, right? You
There
still
you go.
gotta you still gotta even after you do write it down,
Yeah,
you gotta take action on it for that dream to take flight, right?
yeah, exactly,
Or
exactly.
take off and go to Mars. I mean, who do you know that has sent a car to Mars? That'll be the first car on
One
Mars.
guy, one guy is
Only
he's
one
got his
guy.
he's got his roadster flying around there right now. But again, you got to dream and you got to think big
You
like
got
that, right? And
exactly. You
there
have
there
to
should
dream
be
big.
no limitations to what we plan and what we want to do. And bringing it back to this whole content curation thing, right?
hmm
Never say that you can't do something. There
Oh
are
yeah,
folks around you who can help you get to where you're trying to go. Again, if it's just comfort on camera, if it's comfort speaking, if it's making sure you got the right equipment, if it's finding subject matter, there's so many resources around
yes.
each of us to make sure that we do succeed and proliferate in terms of what we're trying to do. That there's no reason to not be successful unless again you don't put in the effort. You got to put in the effort if you want
You
to be
got to put in
successful
the
because
effort.
there's so many people around who are willing to help.
100%, my
That's a
friend.
little one. There's a little one. There
I
you
got a
go.
little
See,
one over here.
it's not a show without Sinead unless you got the little one showing up.
That's right. Say hi.
Hey, are you done? You're full on candy. You hopped up on those now and later. Those are
Well,
my favorite.
luckily we don't do the candy
Smart
run down
man,
the streets.
smart man.
So
No.
no candies, right?
That's right.
No.
And then see, I'm the bad influence here talking about Snickers and now and later. Yeah,
Hey man,
I'll
I
never get
love those
invited to.
things.
I'll never get invited to your house. It's all bad. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. So it's been really awesome talking with you, James. Learning about your story, learning about the motivation. We're going a little deep with some philosophical
We did.
thought process over here because that noggin needs something to latch onto, right? It's really important. But here's some fun questions I've got
Oh,
lined up for
okay.
you. So, you think Daniel? Do you think Mr. James is ready for it? Think he's ready for it?
Probably not. I'll
No?
keep him rated while we got a elementary person on that.
All right, all right. What is the one hobby that you wish you got into?
One hobby that I do wish I got further into photography. Right, I started in photography back in the old 35 millimeter days. Had my first camera was an old Pentax, and I learned and know how to develop black and white film. But kind of self taught myself how to take it out of auto and go into manual, right? So now, and understanding what aperture priority means, what all of the different functionality on cameras means. So I wish and I will, right? I just wish I still, from a structured learning perspective, done some more photography learning and awareness. But I will do that. That is something that is on my list to continue to evolve into. I've got enough cameras around here that I might as well undock them and take them out and do some landscape and some travel photography. So
That's fantastic. You know, when my wife got me my first DSLR camera, I was playing with just regular cameras. The first thing that I wanted that I thought of was like, hey, there's this site called lynda.com. They've got foundations of photography courses. So I jumped on. There's like 5 different courses by Ben Long. And I just looked on LinkedIn Learning the other day, and those courses are still there. So he talks about basics of lens, the camera. I mean, you know some of these terms that you mentioned, you know, aperture priority, the f-stops, and all of those cool things. So that's the first thing I learned. I was like, I want to get better at taking photos. Even though I've been behind the camera for like 30 years, I was like, this thing is going to give me some more power. So that was fun. That was definitely fun.
Yeah.
Next up.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking at building my portfolio as well, right? Because it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Nice. What did you want to be when you were a child?
What I want to be when I grow up? I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. I'm 52 years old, man. I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. I knew it was going to be. I've always said the 2 industries that will always be around would be technology and medicine. And I knew I wasn't going to be a doctor because I'm not the guy to be looking at blood and going to. I love the fact that we've got those folks, but and the reason I said I knew technology was going to be around because I knew it was going to continue to evolve and become even more relevant in terms of our lives of what we do. And I think that's shown true, right? The fact that we're an always on society, that there's pros and cons to that, but just being able to know immediately when something is happening in your sphere of influence, in your world, as opposed to having to wait till the 11 o'clock news when Koppel or Cronkite, and again, there I go dating myself, right? So when the news comes on and being able to have instant access to information, there's value in that. Obviously, you want to tamper that, mitigate it, so that you're not overwhelmed by just looking at these little 6-inch devices throughout the day. But but I knew I wanted to have a positive effect in the way that technology shaped people's lives and how we accessed it. So
I love it, man. I absolutely love it because technology is one of the things that has kept me ongoing as well, because it just keeps evolving. It's impossible to keep track of all of it.
Yeah. You sure you don't have the candy in your room? Because now, see, there's number 1 has walked in just now.
I know number 1's here.
See.
So
what's thinking happening you got something in there. Yeah.
What's happening is we've got this device. Let me see if I can show you. So we got this thing called the Osmo. It's got a little mirror up top that basically captures this surface, and you can put up a picture or photo of something, and you can draw it on paper. So it's a really cool way to cheat and draw different things.
I love it. Oh, well, it's broken now.
And it's broken now. There we go.
I knew.
All right, let's jump on to the next question, my friend. And this is one of my favorite questions. What is your favorite movie or TV show?
TV show? No, I don't know. I was going to say something like All in the Family, but
oh my God, that's
well, because
that's old.
That's Sanford and Son, all in the Family, those kinds of things.
That's your favorite. That's your favorite
Well,
show.
I again, me and my dad would sit around and watch those old school shows all the time and just crack up. So the experience of
You're
hanging out
making
with
fun
my
of the show, basically, right?
yeah,
All
there
right,
you go.
there you go. Okay, that makes sense.
I let's see, movies probably something like Remember the Titans. Remember the Titans
Oh,
was definitely a great movie
oh man.
because well Denzel in there doing his thing obviously, but the message behind it, right, coming from nothing, getting a couple of wins, then get knocked back down, then really
Yes.
having someone reaffirming you that you are special, that you can make things happen, that you can make a difference, and then the evolution of the story of not just the team but the story of the people, the individuals involved. So I took from that, just again, be receptive to learning, be receptive to folks around you who are trying to help you, and be positive in your world, and when you get knocked down, learn from it, right, and get back up. So yeah, that I would say Remember the Titans, just for that evolution of the story.
No, man, that is definitely one of the best movies of all time. With Denzel Washington and playing that coach, and
Yeah.
it's just really. I mean, I love movies like that because it just brings the feels on. I give me a good movie with feels
You ready to go
and
run through a fire for him after that, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, please.
Put me in, coach. Oh.
That's right. Put me in, coach. What movie would you choose if you got to play a character in it?
What movie would I choose?
You get to be a character in this movie.
Could it be a cartoon?
Of course.
You know,
Are you
right,
are you thinking what I'm thinking with the new Space Jam?
there you go.
LeBron
I'm
James.
gonna be in number three. I don't know what role I would play. Maybe I'd be the water boy, or maybe I'd be the defense or something. But yeah, some type of cartoon character with some type of superpower. I need something, man.
Nice. I love
I
that.
love
Love
it.
that.
Like a superpower to help me get up when the alarm goes off. That's the superpower that I need. Yeah, without having to
So
have multiple snoozes. How about
you're
that?
automatically answering the next question, which is who
Okay,
is your favorite superhero or your superhero power,
that's it right there, brother. Right,
right?
just
Ability
golly,
to just
something that.
jump up and get going.
Because when I finally go down, because I'm sure you're the same way, right? There's so much that we want to do, and 24 hours
Yes.
just doesn't seem like enough. And you got to do work, you got to do your passion projects, you got to do your family, and you got to do yourself, right? Take care of yourself. So if it's
Exactly.
training, I know you cycle a lot as well, and I
Yeah.
need to get back on the bike, but
Yeah.
you got all these things that take our time, rightfully so, but then you got all these ideas in your head that you want to do, right? You want to do slight and small improvements to your workspace, to your environment, to your
Hmm.
whatever the case may be. And man, if I can, when I'm awake, I'm doing it. But when I finally lay down, I kind of crash. And
Yes.
that 4 or 5 hours, I know I need more. But man, I don't know. I got one finger pointing out at you, one finger pointing at me, right? James, take care of yourself a little bit better, brother.
Exactly. Amen, man. It's
Yeah,
so important to have that, have that in our minds,
yeah.
because we're constantly thinking, what's gonna like how do you get to that next level?
Hmm.
And we see a lot of people hustle, 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 hustle. But what if you're hustling in four different directions or
Yeah,
on
man, that's
four different
tough.
things, right? It's like, okay, I'm pushing these 5 carts along. I know.
And none of them get done to the degree or to the standard that you really want them to, right? You're only doing
Yes.
it half baked. So,
But but I
take
think
something off your plate.
I see what you're going with that, but I don't look at it from that perspective.
Okay.
I'll look at it from the perspective, okay, I've got these 5 carts that are full. I just got to get them to the finish line. So slowly, you're slowly pushing each one of them forward. There might be a time where one cart is trying to roll back. You got to run back and catch it.
Roll over your ankles. Yeah.
So there's a lot of different ways that we can look at it, but it all comes down to the more time we put in each one of the carts, that one's going to get forward. And that's the culmination of the studio. I spent a lot more time sitting here. I'm like, oh, what else can I do? Let me start making screws, drilling holes in the ceiling, and mounting things up over there. But it's been really fun. It's been a really awesome journey going through all of this, and being able to then teach other people.
Right.
Because I think we don't do these things for ourselves. Sorry, we do all of these things for ourselves because it's fun for us, right? And we expect that everybody else would think the same, but that's not the fact, because we've had so much more knowledge base and experience in this space, so it comes really easy for us. But when somebody comes and asks us a question, we're like, oh, just do this, this, and this, and this. I'm like, whoa, wait, can you slow down? Because I see an answer there, but can you slow down a little bit?
Yeah, teach them how to fish, right? Instead of doing it for everyone, right? And breaking things down in layman's terms. And so, and that aha moment, right? When someone kind of gets it, and you transfer that knowledge, that's where you really show your value and you show your worth.
Yes.
That's what resonates. That's when they'll go and say, you know what, Junaid helped me out with X, Y, and Z. If you got that same kind of issue, same type of problem, concern, reach out to him and he can help you out. That's really, I guess, the thing that makes us smile, to be honest with you, when we're able to help other folks succeed and level up.
Yep, absolutely. So last question.
This can be a hard one. I know it. I'm not even ready for it. Okay,
I don't think you're gonna have any trouble with this question. Some people have had a lot of trouble with this question because, well, you'll know why. If you were a board game, what would it be?
It's a board game. If I was a board game, what would I be? I don't want to say Monopoly, because I'm sure a lot of folks would say Monopoly. I'm not.
I've got a lot of Monopolies, man. I've talked to a lot of Monopolies on this.
Maybe I'd be the old, what's the one, the Jenga. I'd be that guy, right? You never know what's going to happen. Just kind of haphazard. You never know what you're going to get. I may crumble and fall over. I'll be Jenga.
You'll be the Jenga board game.
That's it.
All right, when we make it, we'll make it happen. But yeah, man, the reason somebody, a good friend of mine, was like, hey, you should ask people what type of board games there would be. I'm like, sure, why not? Let's ask that question. And the reason I said it'd be easier for you, because we grew up playing board games.
Yeah.
Right? We didn't have all this tech that we have access to now.
True.
Like my daughter is playing with an iPhone 13 Pro Max. I mean, mind blown. I'd be happy if I had a calculator when I was 3 years old,
all we needed was a cardboard box in our day, right? And go out there and spin on our head.
And don't get me wrong, my kids love playing with cardboard boxes. Like anytime we're back from Costco, we got all these boxes and they're like pushing each other around.
That's it, man.
Because it's so plain, it's so simple, and it just gets the work done. I want to give a shout out to our good friends who hung out with us and watched the show: Laura Williams, Coach Solomon, Stefan Copeland, and Jillian Roberts, good friends of ours.
Love it.
And thank you for your time, James. I really appreciate you coming on.
Brother, my pleasure. My pleasure. Always good. Always fun to chop it up with you, and have a dialogue. It's always good to see the youngsters come in and crash the party too. That again, it's never a stream with Junaid unless the kids come through. That's when you know you're. That's
what adds the real authenticity. Not enabling, not letting that stop you.
Yeah.
Because and in the beginning, I'd be like, hey, can you guys go? But now I'm like, what's the point of that? They know I have kids. They know what it's like to be with kids. Let's just bring them on. And what's funny, in 2019, I was recording this interview with Errol Erdogan, and my daughter came running in, and he's like, keep that part in the podcast, because that shows that connects with the people. If you're a parent, a podcaster, entrepreneur, you're having these calls. Well, that's what really connects us with other people. I was at this in-person event, and they're talking about what it takes to really grow your social media.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Show them that you're human. If you just keep talking about your company and all the things that everybody can do that. But when you open up and you show them your heart, those are the posts that gets the most likes. And then people get to like you, they know you, and they trust you, and then they're going to buy from you.
That's true, right? Be personable. That really is something. I mean, we all have flaws. Show them, or we all have whatever the case. People know that a high percentage of folks are still at home right now, right?
Yes.
Hey, I'm wearing shorts right now, brother. Let me tell you something. I got shorts, flip flops on right now, and kids walking through that just again makes people resonate with you more as a person, and it's all good. I love it.
Absolutely.
It's all right.
Well, thanks again, James. Appreciate you.
Yes, thank you, brother.
Next one.
Appreciate you, man. Be good to yourself.
All right, take care.